Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So it is very late, it's like 3 in the morning. But I saw this and I kind of wanted to respond, so I dragged myself out of bed. Rachel Maddow, come on down. You have earned to be the next contestant. So I'm characteristically not able to sleep, and I see something in the news. And I'm like, wow, Rachel Maddow has found Donald Trump's tax returns. That's interesting. Now, I've asked this question before, or I've kind of explained this thing before. Why would a lefty hit another lefty? And I'm realizing that my understanding of that was wrong. It's not particularly a lefty hitting another lefty. It's a lefty hitting a corporate shill of a person who's pretending to be a journalist while instead just being a mouthpiece for the Democratic Party. Essentially a propaganda arm. So for months now, Maddow has been on this kick about Russia and Trump and all these other conspiracy theories. I mean, essentially, she's inflated the ratings on her show the old-fashioned way. Digital yellow journalism. Jimmy Dore has this joke or saying, I'm not sure what he characterized it as, but it's, hey, why don't you grow up and sell out? Well, she's pretty much there at this point. We've seen this bright and clever and witty person who would wax and wane through these long stories, giving context and explanation, turn into a bitter conspiracy theorist that waxes and wanes through one conspiracy theory and innuendo after another. Everything from Trump to Russia, Trump to Iranian terrorists, Trump to business deals abroad, Trump doesn't pay his taxes. It's one innuendo after another. And she's always particularly short on evidence. It's, I think this, it looks like something is going on. Hey, there may be some smoke or some fire here. All of this, all of it, boils down to one simple point. She was ill prepared for her candidate to lose that last election, Hillary Clinton. Because, look, I didn't know Rachel Maddow was this curious about any of this stuff, because you damn sure couldn't find that curiosity in the Obama administration or when Hillary was running in the primaries. None of this stuff was curious at all. She gave all that stuff a blind eye. But now, she's Johnny on the spot. She's the deputy dog, the investigator, the person who's going to get to the bottom of things. So she comes out with a tweet. And I don't want to say a tweet. I saw it from a tweet. But ultimately, it boiled down to Rachel Maddow has gotten Donald Trump's tax returns. Now, I thought to myself, I was like, did Moby Dick catch his whale? Has the orange whale been speared? Has Maddow finally got her man? She's been doing show after show after show for months on end. Has she finally got her person? Has she finally got Donald Trump? Has all the things, the conspiracies, and the ideas that she's had and propagated on that show for the past 2-3 months, has it finally come to fruition? Has it finally come to a head? Has she finally nailed him? I'm going to read this from Slate, because Slate does, this particular author does a pretty good job in explaining what took place tonight at 9 o'clock. Could this be it? The tax returns that will bring down the Donald? If it wasn't it, why wasn't NBC cutting into the programming instead of running a countdown clock to Maddow's show? By 8:24, Maddow was tweeting that the tax return in question was Donald Trump's 1040 from 2005. By 8:30, still a half an hour before Maddow's show aired, the White House had responded to MSNBC report saying that Trump had paid $38 million of income on $150 million that year. An hour later, 20 minutes after the show start, Rachel Maddow will confirm these numbers, turning her big scoop about Donald Trump's long missing tax returns into a cautionary tale about overhype. Rachel Maddow, you played yourself, and us too. I could not agree with her more. In just a second, this is Rachel Maddow. In just a second, we're going to show you exactly what we've got, she said before launching instead into a 20-minute monologue. Maddow seemed uncharacteristically nervous as she wended her way through what could kindly be described as context, and which I unkindly describe as a word salad, a long meandering that was difficult to follow even without the distracting promise of a revelatory tax return at the end. The longer Maddow went on, even deeper into conspiratorial thicket, the clearer it became that whatever tax returns Maddow had, they weren't as juicy as the ones she was talking about. If she had anything that damning, she would have shared them from the start. TV is a ratings game, but an entire episode about highly damaging tax returns is just as likely to get you great ratings as milking the possibility that you have highly damaging tax returns, and less likely to get you compared to Geraldo. Maddow even went so far as to hold the tax returns back until the first commercial break, as if we were watching an episode of The Bachelor and not a matter of national importance, because we weren't, in fact, watching a matter of national importance, just a cable news show trying to set a ratings record. I could not agree with her more. I could not agree with her more. This is absurd. This is really absurd. And we kind of need to understand that it's not just pathetic. It's, for the most part, it comes across in a few ways. Part of it is just plain pathetic. Part of it just comes across as craven, a craven attempt to get ratings, and a craven attempt to go after somebody. But more than that, ultimately, she screwed over her own narrative. I mean, the record she released doesn't fulfill the conspiracy theories that she was weaving on her show. If anything, they show that Donald Trump paid $38 million in taxes, which is the opposite of things that she's been hollering about for the past 3 months. I mean, granted, she can make the case that the amount that he paid wasn't enough. She can make the case that says, well, look, this is only one page of the tax return. We don't necessarily know everything else. All of those things are true. But it's also true that she has emboldened Donald Trump's hand while making herself look like a clown at the exact same time. That's the truth of the matter. You hurt yourself. You clowned yourself. And there is not enough information in the tax returns you had to know one way or the other any relevant information about Donald Trump. Ultimately, you've given an impression that Trump was just a businessman going about his way paying his taxes, and there's nothing to see here because Rachel Maddow had made a huge scoop that Trump had paid $31 million in taxes. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's amazing. Just stop. Just stop. You're not a news person. You're not a news person. You're like the Sean Hannity of MSNBC at this point. You're purely going for ratings. You're purely functioning in the capacity of an arm of the Democratic Party. That is your function. That has been literally what you've been doing for these past 3 months. And yes, you've been getting a lot of ratings because for the most part, you've been ensuring, assuaging the fantasies of the people who watch your show that wanted to find some other reason to believe why their person lost. They didn't want to believe that the person who was under criminal indictment for almost a year, the person who had a slush fund in the Clinton Foundation, the person who was the most unlike candidate ever to run in the history of this country with the exception of Donald Trump. They wanted to believe that that person couldn't lose on her own merits, that there had to be something else, whether it was Russia, whether it was Comey, whether it was Green Party, whether it was Jill Stein, whether it was Gary Johnson, neither of which are even in the Democratic Party, and none of those voters should be voting for Democrats anyway. But you wanted to find a reason, some other reason, that your dear Hillary Clinton lost that election. Hillary Clinton lost because she was a horrible candidate. It had nothing to do with Russia. It had nothing to do with Podesta leaks. It had nothing to do with Comey. It had nothing to do with any of the stuff that you've been bringing up on your show for the past 3 months. And while there are things to attack Donald Trump on, you haven't found him. You haven't found him at all. Not to mention you lack credibility to make these arguments. You literally had an entire show where you teased up the fact that you had his unsolicited tax returns. It is possible that Donald Trump sent you those tax returns. Because of all the tax returns that he could muster, and of all the tax returns you get the one where he paid $30-some million and he earned $150 million that year. Good job. Good job. You strengthen the hand of the person that you've been gone after for 3 months. So, good job. Gold star, Maddow. Gold star. Just stop. Just stop. Stop pretending to be a newsman. Stop pretending to inform your audience. Stop just making shit up in order to get ratings and in order to attack somebody. You lack credibility. You lack integrity. You lack all the things necessary to actually stand on some principle and make those attacks. And again, I make the point, this was absolutely clownish. Absolutely clownish. So, yes, please go away. Please stop calling yourself a progressive. Please, you can call yourself a liberal, that's fair game. You can call yourself a Democrat, that's fair game. Don't call yourself a news person. You do not resemble that at all. You are the opposite. And as a political hack go, you've done a horrible job today. So, good job. Thanks, guys. Oh, by the way, if you guys like the content, sign or like the videos. I have a hard time remembering this stuff because usually when I'm dealing with the topic, I'm feeling the topic that I'm giving. So I completely forget about that fact. If you like, please comment, please subscribe. Thanks, guys.